Hello, welcome to Local Enterprise Office Donegal's information session on the Trading Online Voucher. We're going to have a look at the eligibility and criteria when you're applying for the TOV. In relation to the qualification terms, there's a couple of key qualification terms you need to be aware of. You must have less than 10 employees at the date of application. So employees can be made up of full or part-time employees. So for example, if you have 8 part-time employees, this would likely equate to 4 full-time employees. You must have turnover of less than €2 million, and you have to be trading for at least 6 months. So ideally, you should be registered as a business. You should be able to show some income or expenditure. You may only have expenditure if you're a brand new business, that's okay. And if you can, get a letter from your accountant or your bookkeeper to show the relevant information. You need to be aware of the NACE company type, which I'll talk about in a moment, and then you apply to the county in which you're based or which you're registered. So in this case, Local Enterprise Office Donegal. As an example in relation to ineligible companies that can apply, if you're working in the area of IT, so if you're a professional providing IT services, you cannot apply for the TOV. The NACE code will clarify this, and this is something that you will have access to, and I'm just going to demonstrate it now. So this is just a summary of all the criteria in relation to the TOV. You can find it on the Local Enterprise Office Donegal's website or any other LEO website. So I'm just scrolling to the bottom. At the bottom of this, you'll find the NACE code. So a NACE code is a statistical code that's used to group companies into types of service or manufacturing. So for example, if you're manufacturing electronic components, your NACE code is likely to be 2611. So you cannot apply for the TOV. If you scroll down further, there's roughly about 3 pages. You can see the other types of NACE code. So here, for example, if you're providing cultural education and you're in NACE code 8552, you cannot apply for the TOV. If you're not sure where to get your NACE code, talk to your accountant or bookkeeper, and they will be able to advise you in relation to it. And that's important because NACE codes are key to eligibility. What is available to you is a voucher worth €2,500 max net of VAT or 50%. So the way it works is if you spend €5,000 on your project, you're eligible to receive the maximum grant, which is €2,500. If you spend €4,000, you can receive €2,000, which is 50%. And if you spend €6,000, which is obviously over, you will receive a maximum grant of €2,500. So it's capped at €2,500, and it's €2,500 net of VAT. If you're a business that is registered for VAT and you get a VATable invoice from your e-commerce developer, you just treat that VAT as normal. If you're a business that is not registered for VAT and you get an invoice that has VAT on it, you must pay the VAT. It doesn't make up part of the grant. So the grant is just net of VAT in relation to it. If you have received the Trading Online Voucher before, the grant has been about since 2014, you can now apply a second time, and it's the exact same criteria. So the maximum grant that's available to you is €2,500 or 50% of your expenditure. So the same would apply if, for example, you spend 5,000 or more, you could possibly receive the maximum grant of 2,500. And conversely, if you spend 4,000, the max would be 50%, which is 2,000. Now, if you have gotten the grant prior to this, you must show that it has been implemented. So at this stage, it is expected that you would have an e-commerce website that is fully functioning and selling. So you must have drawn down your previous grant, you must have completed the work, you must have submitted your claim, and you must have a fully functioning e-commerce website operational. What we mean by e-commerce is, can I go onto your website and can I buy or book or pay for a product or service using my credit card, debit card, PayPal account, etc. So there is an online transaction element to the website, and that must be functioning to qualify as an e-commerce website. So as I say, if you've applied for the grant before, you can apply again, but you must have completed the first TOV application drawdown. The work that is eligible for the TOV, so there's a range of things, and this is just a summary. So for example, if you have never developed an e-commerce website before, you're not 100% sure how to go about doing it, you can engage an IT consultant as part of the grant. If you have an e-commerce website and perhaps you want to migrate it to a different platform, maybe you want to upgrade it, you want to apply a new payment method to it, and that also qualifies in relation to it. If you haven't got an e-commerce website, so maybe you want to develop an e-commerce website that will allow people to book, buy, access information through your website and through paying online, that's perfect. That's what we mean by e-commerce development. If you need internet related software which will help you sell online through your website, that also is eligible. And if you're looking at digital marketing, and this is probably where most work will lie going forward after you've built your website. So digital marketing is driving traffic to your website, getting consumers to come to your website in the expectation that they're going to buy of it. And this can make up a number of things from email marketing, digital advertising, search engine optimization. So digital marketing is something that you do ongoing after your website is live. You may want to develop a mobile app, in which case that is also eligible underneath the grant. If you want to do online advertising, and some people may be doing Facebook advertising, you may be doing Google advertising, or if you want to take out digital advertising on another website, that's also eligible in relation to the grant. It is capped at 30%. So it means that you can spend the entire grant on digital advertising. So it's 30% of all other eligible expenditure. So it's capped at that, and you need to be very clear on that. If you want to do photography, that's also eligible. And by photography, we also mean video, and that is capped at 80%. So it means that you can't spend the entire amount of money on photography. It's capped at 80% of all other eligible expenditure. So whatever else you're spending money on, it's capped at 80% of that. So there's a number of things that you can spend the money on, and there's a longer list on the website. What happens is you must first complete the TOV form, and we're doing a separate video on that, which you'll be able to access. The first thing is a link will be sent you from your local enterprise office, in this case, local enterprise office Donegal. You need to complete the application form. So you need to fill out every aspect of the application form. A completed form will speed up the approval process. And you need to get 3 proper quotes for the work that you're getting done. So if you're getting an e-commerce website developed, you need to draft up an email, and you then need to send it out to 3 or 4 e-commerce companies requesting a quote. If you're getting photography, you need to draft up an email, and you need to send it out to 3 or 4 photographers to get quotes. If you're getting online marketing, you need to do the same. So every element that you're getting done or wish to get done, you need to get 3 quotes in relation to it. These quotes are very important because you need to submit them as part of the application form. If you can't get 3 quotes, you need to prove that you attempted to get them. So the emails you sent out is backup proof in relation to that. Once you've completed the application form, it goes to an evaluation committee within the local enterprise office. There are a finite number of grants available. It is a competitive process. So the local enterprise office will evaluate your application based on the following information. So eligibility. So that's less than 10 employees, less than 2 million turnover, NACE compliant, 6 months trading. So they're the criteria that we outlined at the front. The value added potential. Is this going to add value to your business? Is your business going to benefit as a result of the work that you're proposing to do as part of the Trading Online Voucher? Your export potential. So will this allow you to potentially export, or will it allow you to potentially sell your products abroad? So it doesn't have to physically move outside the country. You may be selling to somebody in the UK who's accessing a learning course online. So by export, it can mean 2 things. The job creation potential, would it allow you to sustain jobs? Would it allow you to create new jobs in order to service your online element? And then the financial sustainability of your business. Is your business financially sustainable? Will this help your business? So what will happen is after that evaluation meeting, the local enterprise office approve a number of grants and they will send you out a letter of offer if you're successful. Do not spend any money in relation to your e-commerce development before receiving this letter of offer, as any money spent before the letter of offer cannot be claimed as part of the grant. So you will receive a letter of offer. You must sign it, accept it, and return the letter of offer. And then you can spend money after this date in relation to your development. You have 6 months to complete the work. 6 months seems like a long time, but it's advised that you get started within month 1 or 2 so that you have time to complete the work within the 6 months. You need to notify the local enterprise office if you're changing any element. So for example, if you've put in for e-commerce development and photography, but now you've decided that you're going to go for e-commerce development and online marketing, you need to notify the local enterprise office and you need to agree with them those changes before you undertake the changes, because their record is what you have put in for initially. So it's important that you notify the local enterprise office if you're going to make any changes to what was agreed in your application form. You complete your work, and once you complete your work, you have to pay for the work upfront. So if you're getting an e-commerce website developed, you pay your web developer and then you claim back your money. So if you're getting photography, if you're getting e-commerce, you pay your photographer, you pay your e-commerce developer, and then you claim back your 50% from your local enterprise office. So what you need to have in order to claim back that money is you need to have a tax clearance certificate for yourself, your business. You need to have a tax clearance certificate for any companies you're using in Ireland. You're not limited to using Irish companies for photography or web development, but if you do use Irish companies, they need to have a tax clearance certificate also. You need to have an invoice from your supplier. So you need to have an invoice from your e-commerce developer, from your photographer, and that invoice needs to show proper details. So it needs to show their name, their business name, address, tax information as normal. You need to show proof of payment. So the proof of payment is that you've paid them by credit card, you've paid them by bank transfer, or you've paid them by PayPal. Do not pay by cash. There is no record of cash payment. So you show proof of payment, you have your tax clearance certificate, you have your invoice, confirmation that all work is completed. You submit that to your local enterprise office, and then your local enterprise office will refund you the 50% as per the grant application that you made. If you need any more information, contact your local enterprise office in Donegal. Details are below. Thank you.